Hey friends, welcome back to my studio. I decided to put this painting back up today. I had started it and kind of was looking at it for a few days, and I incorporated some thread, and I kind of didn't like where I had put it, so here I am readjusting it, kind of removing where I kind of just lightly stitched it and taking it off to move it around just a little bit because I wasn't loving where I had it. So here I'm just kind of measuring a little more of the golden ratio layout, which I love to use in my paintings, and just kind of tying the the thread that kind of falls in line with it. And then here I am just adding a little more shading to the dove, which is placed again in the golden ratio aspect to the size of the canvas, and I'm using a graphite pencil, which I love. So this is a really, really beautiful mixed media painting where I use graphite, acrylic, oil, thread, and it's titled The Universe Mirrors You, and it's part of my collection I'm working on that narrates quantum entanglement, and the threads symbolize how we are all connected. And so I'm working on the title of the series, and I kind of like calling the collection Unseen Threads, just as a representation to how we are all connected to each other, no matter where we live all over the world. So, and the dove, which is a symbol of hope that I've used for many, many years in my paintings, is also, I'm kind of using it now as a symbol of humanity. Here is a really cool circle I'm just adding a little shading to because I love adding those elements. So mixing up some paint, getting that ready to show you. I'm going to paint the edges of my this painting. I love to finish off my edges either with just a solid color or just something just to kind of keep the edge clean. Here I'm just mixing up some black and some brown and a little terracotta to bring in some of the tones from the painting. And I'm not planning on framing this painting. Sometimes I do, it could be, but if it's not, what I like is when you paint the edge a little bit of a darker color, it makes it look sculptural, so when it's hanging on a light colored wall, but it also just cleans it up really nicely and helps frame in the painting. So just doing a couple coats to get all the edges. This is another little fun technique I like to do on my paintings where you saw earlier, where I just kind of like lightly hit the edge. It adds like just a little bit on the front, not much, and then I got a little bit too much on the light color. And the canvas I coated with plaster, so it really absorbed any kind of color paint that I was adding to it, so I just took a little water to get some of it off. Going around the top and the bottom with just a little bit of that technique where I just take the edge of the brush and it just kind of puts a little bit of color, just slightly. It adds like a really cool effect. And then it was time to officially sign this painting. So I took a little bit of the color that I was using on the edge of the painting. I try not to take away from the painting too much with my signature, so this just kind of worked really nicely. Signing it, dating it. Here's a little close-up of all the different elements that are on this painting. The graphite, the thread, the oil, the acrylic, and you can see the edges are finished. Thanks for tuning in.